Hi, in today's video I will showcase a new Waylay Studio and the means to create agentic applications. But as well you can also use them to create flows and rules or use any other API without any code change. So for that I will use example of monitoring the HVAC systems. I will be shooting some data, then creating a rule that will be checking for the problem with the clogged filter. And then eventually I will look at the repair manuals to suggest the right repair action. But rather than creating all of that in one specific rule with all these flows, I will be using the agentic application to actually guide the end user through the complete scenario. So let me start by pushing some data here. So I have some, let's say, test data for an HVAC, let's call it HVAC 1. And what we're gonna see here is the data, it's arriving in my system as we speak now. So if I just take some refresh, you will actually see that happening. But in the last 10 seconds, we have started shooting some data into the system. Yeah, that's what's happening here. Okay, let me now go to a new studio. It has a lot of different things, but this time I will be focusing primarily on making the bot applications. I will take one rule that is checking the HVACs, and this time I'll be looking at, like I said, different parameters like airflow, temperature, and energy. And if all of these are above a given threshold, then I'm gonna raise alarm that there is a problem with the filter. So let's say I'm taking some test data now, not the ones that I'm actually sending over the MQTT. And if I just would like to test the logic, so that's just do it this way. Please look at these green dots here. You will see that it will all fire through, and as a result of that, we've got a filter alarm. That's what we actually see here that has happened. Now, in a classical sense, if I would like to now take something like a rug or describe what the issue is, one way to do that, and it's also going to show you how to actually can embed as well the LLMs as the building blocks, not being used for the reasoning, but simply for the knowledge summarization, if you like. This is what I'm gonna do now. I'll say, okay, if the alarm has been created, I'm gonna take the OpenAI model this. I'm gonna take from the vault my OpenAI key. System prompt will be, you can answer questions in relation to HVAC repairs, and here I'll just say what should I do if I have a problem with HVAC filter, and the answer of that will be getting into my Slack. I'm gonna fire this one after this, let's say default channel. And if I do it again, so this time, so we've got this fired, we are running the LLM, this model from the OpenAI. And if I look now to my Slack, what you're gonna see here is that, okay, so I got a very generic response is what I should be doing. Yeah. So that's this part, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna keep the flow as it was. And I will have a specific one that will look at for remediation. So given the problem, so let's say for the HVAC 1, and the alarm, which is like you have a filter problem. If I run this one, it's gonna give an answer more specific by looking at, okay, so there is a page 186, and this is what needs to be look at in a repair manual to actually how to solve it. I could have also trained it with more data in there, but I think you are getting idea how to actually use these little ingredients and then stack them together. But this time we'll not put them in another flow. So what we're gonna do now is something else. We're gonna create the agentic application. So for that, I'm just gonna start cherry picking things like if I go to Amazon and start buying stuff. So let's see what I will need. I will need data first. Let me come here, and there you go. I need to fetch data. So that will be something like get latest metrics. What that one does, so I can just go here and test for a given source HVAC1, I can get the latest data. So I'm just going to do something very simple. I will take the latest data point and use that to run the rule. So this is what I'm starting with. Okay, I like that one. I will put it in my basket, so to speak. Okay, that's one. Now, what else we need? We need to get all HVACs because I would like to query this. Then I obviously need my rule, which was to actually do the check on the filter. So that's gonna be a subflow, which is this one, filter check. So you see, I'm starting adding not just the APIs, but I can as well pick up the flows, which will be used as the agentic endpoints. Oh, then what else I need? I actually need a remedy because that was the one that was giving me the right remedy for a given problem. So where is that one? That one is here. Okay, so I have this one. Then I will do some messaging. I will use maybe Slack this time. And I need to create a work orders. Why is that? Because if something goes wrong at one moment in time, I would like to actually to create a work order. So okay, so I've got the work order. Then I would also do some plotting. I will explain it later on. I can also make some widgets that are basically then auto-generating visualization for me. And that's about it actually. Now that I have that, I need still a system prompt, which is gonna tell my assistant application what is my role, what I'm supposed to do. So this is basically what I see here. So it says that you're an agent responsible for running diagnostic tests. This is instruction to where to get the data from. You can send the results via Slack. You need to call the remediation function, create the work orders, run the HVAC templates, and so forth and so forth. I'm happy with that. So I'm gonna take this one back. So this is my system role. Lock it here. And now I'm gonna deploy the application. So this is gonna be the application diagnostic test. Now what I can do here is that if I like, I can as well override some of the parameters such that they're not visible to the assistant bot. I'm not going to go in detail now with this here, but I can as well here put something like queries like this, such that I have a default queries that do not need to intervene here. So I'm just adding some of default values. There I don't need anything to do, neither here. For a Slack, I will say that it goes to default channel bot. So then, in that sense, assistant bot doesn't need to guess where to send the data to. So this is all fine. That's all fine. So I can actually deploy the application, and that's it. Okay, so that was my application. Now, let's see what happens. So I can actually start playing with that. So I can say something like, run me a diagnostic test for HVAC1. Yeah. So what's gonna happen is that it is going to look at the shifting that one to the left a little bit, that window. So it's gonna take the last metrics, feed them into the. So that's actually, can you read it here? What it needs to happen is to feed the data into the diagnostic test and run this one, and then eventually see if we are having the filter problem or not. Okay, it says now indicates the filter needs replacement, an alarm has been triggered. Okay, what is the remedy for this issue? So now it actually has to go to another flow, look at the type of the HVAC, run through the rug, and come with recommendation. That is that I have this to be replaced. And finally, I can say send me this info over Slack, and that is gonna be then sent to Slack as the last time to show that eventually that information will come there. Now that we have tested that, okay, so all cool.